This is a review of the Premier LSP7T 4K Ultra Short Throw Projector by Samsung. Also using the VividStorm Rising 120-inch screen by me, Ron Stamos. So this is physically what it looks like to the back. Using all the cord options, there's the black power cord at the bottom. The white is an antenna, 2 consoles and 2 of the HDMIs, and a third ARC HDMI for my sound bar, which is this Vizio option, which gives me plenty of sound for my makeshift home theater. I was surprised how hefty this thing was when I got it. It's almost 2 feet long, a foot wide. It's pretty dense, but overall I like the look of it. Go ahead and turn on the power. And timing this to see how long it takes for it to show up on the screen. And about 13 seconds here. It's got all of your typical apps like you do have on a normal smart TV, Samsung smart TV. It's the same thing basically. All the apps work fine, they're great. I turn it on, my PS5 turns on automatically with it. It switches over automatically. Cut the lights to get a better picture. Here's the user manual, pretty basic. Gives a chart recommendation of where you should put the projector depending on how high your screen is. Side note, I bought these furniture risers for my screen so I could raise it up, and actually it's nice to run cords underneath. Here's a part I sort of have an issue with. It just tells you if the screen is unclear, go to the settings and adjust. This doesn't really tell you how to do this or what you need to be doing in there, but so I will show you how to get a clear picture by making adjustments in these settings. I've seen some negative reviews online about a blurry image, maybe in one part of the screen or another, and I think they probably just didn't know how to make the adjustment, so I'll go ahead and go over that. Go to settings. Using the voice command on the remote, in the settings, there's the picture mode. I keep it in filmmaker mode. I think that's the best mode, especially for movies, but really just for everything. Picture size setting. Adjust the size. I have not done that. And just keep it standard. Expert settings. A lot of settings in here, a lot to do with the color. Again, I haven't really messed with it, haven't needed to. Everything has looked pretty good as it is defaulted to. So back to the picture clarity issue, you need to go to the general settings, projector settings, and then screen adjustment. Okay, so we'll stop here. So the first step is to physically move your projector. You want to get these outermost rectangle to wherever you want it to be on your screen. So for me, the top actually goes outside of the lines a little bit, and that's by design so I can get the most picture on my screen as possible. Once you have that set, you can go to the advanced setting. That will bring up a little bit more of the grid here. What you want to do is adjust all of these little dots. All of the squares look the same size. All the lines are perpendicular, everything's straight. When I first opened up this setting, the shapes in the middle were rectangles, the outer ones were smaller rectangles. It was kind of messy, but then I adjusted each line, made those squares all the same size, and that made a huge difference on the way that the picture looked. We can back out of this, go to test pattern. This screen that looks like the matrix can kind of show you where your alignment's at on your screen. Okay, so we can back out of this and go to focus. This is very important, and again, this goes back to the manual. They don't really tell you what to do here. I mean, intuitively, you can go left and right to adjust the screen here, but you may not really know what to look for. So really what you're trying to do is focus on the corners here. Make sure you can get those boxes to look as clear as possible. And you notice as you adjust it that one will start to look blurry, the other will start to look a little bit more clear, but as you make your adjustments, get them all to look as clear as possible, and then to test it when you back out, what I like to do is have my console screen up. It has text, relatively small text in the corner of the screen, or small images. If you can't see those clearly, then you need to go back in there and mess around with that again. It's not the greatest setting to use, but once I figured it out, it resolved all of my issues. And again, just go out of it, bring up maybe a web browser or a different app that has text, and if you can't read it, obviously you have a problem. Go back in and make the adjustments. Screen resolution recap. Step 1, with projector settings, screen adjustment open. Physically move your projector so the outside lines match up to the edges of your screen. Step 2, go to advanced. Adjust all of the points so that the lines are straight, perpendicular, and those 8 boxes in the middle are all the same size. Step 3, in the projector settings, go to focus and adjust left or right to remove any blur from these lines. Again, pay attention to the squares in the corner and get those to be as clear as possible. To test it, exit out of here and pull up a screen with text in the corners. If you can't read it, if the text is blurry, then you'll need to go back in and adjust the setting. Now on to the VividStorm Rising 120-inch screen. The video does not do this justice. This thing is massive. I ordered it from Amazon. Came in probably about a week. I think it comes from China, so it was pretty quick. Unboxing was easy. You just take it out, plug it in, and rise up the screen with one of the 2 remotes they give you, or the manual button that's on the side. If you're facing the screen, on the left side is the power switch and the manual button to rise it up and down, and also the IR receiver for the IR remote. I will lower the screen using the RF remote and time this for you. Now I have no reason to lower my screen, I just keep it up. So I've had it up for about a year now. No risk of it falling over. It's even on those risers, standing pretty steady. And looks like it was about 28 seconds. Go ahead and rise it up. And it's about the same time for it to rise up as well. So it always does that little, goes all the way to the top, and that extra adjustment on its own down a little bit every single time you rise it. Okay, so let's break down the projector, starting with the good. The 4K video quality is excellent. 4K UHD Blu-ray discs look and sound the best. Then streaming and even 1080p content looks great. Video games are a whole new experience. The sound from the speaker is good, but it's best just to use your own soundbar or surround sound system if you have it. I just love having my own movie room without having to spend a fortune on customizing a room, installing a projector in the ceiling and running cords everywhere. No, none of that. Just set up the screen and let the projector sit on the ground. I don't go to movie theaters anymore. Other people can easily ruin a movie for you. Plus now I can pause the movie to go get a snack or take a derm. There are a ton of great TV series out there right now, and watching them on a screen that dwarfs my TV is just the best. Samsung offers 0% APR financing if you don't want to pay for all of the projector up front. And then just to address the bad, the one criticism I have is Samsung's lack of being able to effectively communicate how to fix a blurry image on the screen. That is really the only issue I had, and even then I was able to figure it out on my own, but I do have to acknowledge that it's could have been put together better. Overall verdict is a
9.5 out of 10.
Have mercy. I'll go ahead and keep the same score up for the projector screen itself, the VividStorm 120-inch rising screen. Straight out of the box, this thing was easy to put together. You just plug it in, turn it on, rise it up, and you're set. When I was shopping for projector screens, I saw a lot of videos of people putting together screens with, they needed a second person. It seemed like very tedious work, and then they'd have to mount it on the wall, be very careful. It just seemed like a lot of work, and you got to have somebody else involved. Don't need that with this. You can just set it up myself. I can, if I want to move to another part in the house, I can do that. Move it myself. If I'm going to move to a different place, I can pick it up and go, no problem. So you don't have to have a designated spot for this and just be set with that. You can move this thing around. The picture quality it gives, obviously that mostly depends on your projector, but this screen is great. Even when the lights are on, it works great. I have no issues with it. It's been standing. I don't even put it down. It's been standing for almost a year. That's the same. The benefit to it is the same reason that the only reason someone might not like it is because of its mobility. It can go up and down. So there's the tension wires on the side. That means it's not a exact perfect rectangle like you might have on a mounted screen on your wall. So if that gives you an issue, that's maybe you'd want to go with something else. But I've had no issues with this thing, and I think it's great. Both these products are 10 out of 10 for me, but I do have to acknowledge some people might not like about each of them. So
have mercy.